Pavlovian despair. We become disillusion. So we run towards anything glimmering. Time to put the silicone obsession down. Take a look around. Find a way in the silence. Lie supine away with your back to the ground. Dis and reconnect to the resonance now. You were never an island. Unique. A voice among the many in this choir.
Say this, the fucking lack of give a fuck about anything they're saying so far is profound. I'm just like, it's reminds me of what happened in the 90s in Hollywood after Quentin Tarantino, after Pulp Fiction, where there were a lot of movies that got made where they clearly thought they were doing a Tarantino, and even though it wasn't Tarantino in some of these movies, and that it just felt heavy-handed.
It's like cool line one, cool
Right.
response, ha,
Yep.
cool quip.
It's funny because that's sort of just when I was starting to do like drama and stuff, and so many like first time scripts from teenagers and like college kids.
If you've got the
Let's think
facility,
about this.
if you're so able to predict exactly what's going to happen,
Yes.
to get yourself captured, Joker style, hey, because he's cool, because he's a cool guy in a movie, and say a cool line about how it's all going to be revealed after you're dead, then like clearly you have more control of the situation than the guy who doesn't know who the fuck you are.
He knew that.
Why was this the plan?
He knew he would get.
'Cause it was the plan.
captured. He knew that he would get captured, but he would not be searched.
No. And
So
then the guy would shoot him in precisely that way. Can we scrub back to like the kill shot? Because like, where is this gas hidden?
It seemed
Or did he flick
an
a thing?
upper
Did he
body
like
almost.
bite a trigger in his like
Yeah.
in his tooth to like trigger it?
Because the gas comes out the top of his shirt, which all right.
And I do also want to point out how this guy continues
Like
to
a dead man
fucking
switch or
down.
something?
The gas has started coming out pretty heavily by the time. Like, I mean, he keeps going. Like,
If I shoot a motherfucker and he starts emitting fucking Joker gas, my ass is leaving the car.
fucking running, dude. Yeah,
Right.
this is
You know what I mean.
Oh.
Yeah, he just bends in for that sniff.
Be a car garage where they work on cars and change oil, and there's an elephant somewhere off screen.
Holy shit! Someone Google if elephant blood is black, because
It's just talking porn. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but like, I mean, I would argue there's
Yes,
probably I've seen some porn with more artistry, than
black.
this.
Oh, it just says Mauler's a hack.
That's right, folks. Not a rat, but a snake in the grass. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. Okay, welcome everybody. Yeah, I'm streaming again today. I just streamed last night, but I'm doing it again today because look, I missed you. You're a very beautiful person, and I missed you. Okay. I want to take it to the next level, where I maybe stream sometimes twice or 3 times a week. Who knows? If you guys want to do that, if you're not, it's okay. I understand. Maybe we'll get there eventually, but I mean, I'm still going to do it. So sorry. Welcome to this, where I will going to be talking about exclusively one topic for today, and it's almost like I invented the objective opinion as a branding for this purpose. I did not. I did. The objective opinion was obviously a reference to our friends over at the EFAP. Shout out to the guys, to the gang over there. They're our peeps. What's up, guys? Been a while. Shout out to them. But it's obviously a reference to that. Because it's absurd on its face. It's like like a band name like Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean? The objective is like these things do not belong together. In fact, they conceptually simply it doesn't work. And yet, if you just say that you're objective about reviewing films and then repeat that enough, you can just keep saying it. But from what I understand, I'm not a fucking big EFAP watcher. Sorry, guys. I know you guys are disappointed to hear that. Sorry. But from what I understand, in the last, I don't know how long, they've been kind of getting away from that. And that's good. That's good because it's really good for Mauler to understand that that these things are subjective. Because if he thinks that what he wrote for the short film, All in Good Time, is a good script, or if he thinks that what he wrote on Twitter about the fate of Homelander and the boys would have been a more faithful or better, ending for the character. Well, look, these are subjective things, so I can't sit here and say he's wrong, but I can in a little bit, and we'll get into that. Yeah, I saw this on floating around last night, and I was like, holy shit, man, this is the dumbest thing that I've ever seen Mauler say, and it's several pages on Twitter worth of saying stuff. Okay, let's see who we got here. I mean, I'm not, but even if I was, that'd be cool, man. The fact that you think that's an insult, though, that's kind of weird. There's lots of people that are gay. It's not a bad thing to be gay. You recognize that, right? However, I am not. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so usually, by the way, I'm of the opinion that somebody that thinks that calling someone gay is an insult is they probably have some stuff going on internally that they haven't worked out. I don't know you. I don't know if you're gay, but like that's a weird thing that typically people insult people with what they feel they would be hurt by. I don't know if you know that. That's a psychology thing. Like people will try to insult people with something that internally they feel would hurt their own feelings, right? So, yeah, I'm not gonna fuck you, dude. I'm sorry. But just repeating gay. I mean, maybe that's how you want to come out. It's up to you. We're just not gonna do it here. Anyway. Well, fucking shit, my goddamn bass strap. My strap on, Captain Trips. It's Oh man. Yeah, any hole's a goal, man. Any consenting hole. We should say that. It's so weird, so fucking weird to show up on this stream and think that calling me gay is somehow going to, like, oh damn it, you call me gay. I mean, it only upsets me in the fact that there are literal people who still exist that presumably are adults that think that just saying gay is somehow a negative thing. Like those people existing on the same planet as me is, it's kind of bums me out sometimes, but not today. Not today, because none of those people are in my audience. Okay. Those people there's a lot of them in Mauler's audience. Oh yeah. I didn't think you were saying like it was a good line, man. I would not assume that anybody was saying that. Oh God. All right. So, we saw here at the beginning, I've showed a few clips from a stream the other day. Whenever the showcast, we watched the entirety of All in Good Time. And let me tell you what my experience was before that and why I wish that it wasn't as bad as it is. Because so before we watched it, I went through the process internally in my mind of like going, this could be good, right? I thought maybe this is good, or maybe it's just kind of serviceable. Maybe it's not going to, I didn't expect it to be game changer. I didn't expect it to be like blow my head off or anything, but like, I kind of thought that it would be a workable little story, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I genuinely expected. And I expected that I even, you know, kind of, I don't know if you guys do this, but whenever you anticipate that you might have to do something that's uh, not an ideal thing, but you have to do it anyway. Do you ever just kind of go through it in your mind how it's going to play out so that you can just kind of get yourself used to it? Like if you have to go to some doctor's appointment or whatever it is, you have to see some family member you don't want to see, but you have to for whatever reason. Like just kind of like, you know, imagine the scenario in your head and kind of play through it, you know, and that helps me relieve anxiety, you know, before things like that. So I did this. I did this exercise with the notion that Mauler's short film was either, you know, not bad or pretty good. I did that in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go on stream and I'm gonna have to tell my audience and anybody his audience, that's the thing, they're gonna show up too. His audience would definitely show up to hear me say that. And I was like, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and say, look, guys, you know, I've talked a lot of shit on Mauler. I still stand by everything I've said. You know what I mean? Like criticizing his criticism of movies and stuff and the way that he views things, but I have to hand it to him. He wrote a decent thing here. Like this is just fine, you know, and I wouldn't have expected that, but yeah, anyway, so I was kind of leaning in that direction of having to literally, you know, kind of swallow my pride a little bit and tell you guys and his audience and whoever else that listened that, look, I mean, I assumed that because he doesn't know how to critique media at all, and he does it very poorly, that he also wouldn't be able to, that would extend to writing a screenplay or whatever, right? That's what I assumed. And then I set myself up beforehand for thinking that might not be what happens. And I started leaning into that, thinking this is probably going to prove me wrong in that regard. But I was right. I was right. His short film is pure shit. It's incomprehensible. I've never seen anything before where two characters exchanging dialogue for nearly 20 minutes. And I start out more confused about everything. Because when you start the thing off, it's like the first, you know, the setup of it is like, oh, there's a gangster and he's brought in these guys, these people to kill him. Right. There are things that happen in the, you know, 18 minutes runtime and things that are said that kind of imply that maybe that's not what was going on. That, you know, like there could have been any number of scenarios that we didn't learn about what was really going on, but it definitely was something. There's you know, a layer of what I assume he was trying to apply as mystery. He was trying to, yeah, but it really just comes off as someone who doesn't know how to write very well, and that's just what it is. Have you read the comic that Mauler made in the Rippaverse comic? It was just mediocre with how he wrote characters to be unlikable and how much similar the things he criticized are in the story. Yeah, I mean, I haven't read that yet. If anybody knows where I can read it for free, let me know. I'm not paying for it. Yeah, but I would assume that. Yeah, because Critical Drinker does it. I know that from what I've seen of videos that have reviewed his books and a little bit I've read of, you know, from his books and stuff like that, that he has used the very same tropes. You know, the thing is that even if you're just looking at EFAP's criticism of media, they contradict themselves constantly because they act like they have some kind of like set in stone, you know, list of, you know, like of the ways to write a good movie, right? And if you just avoid these things, then you will write a good movie. That seems to be, that's the implication of the way they talk, at least the way they used to talk about it. Like I said, I've heard tell that they had gotten away from, you know, talking about things objectively so much anymore. But once you've programmed that into your fucking audience, you don't have to say it anymore. You know what I mean? The audience still thinks that way. But yeah, I would assume that's the case. You know what? Yeah, same. I thought that, you know, about halfway through, I was thinking Rogue Elements is still better. But about halfway through is where the shit started really getting. First of all, you're halfway through an 18-minute runtime and you haven't learned anything for sure yet. There's been lots of setup and little lines here and there that indicate that maybe we'll learn something more about what this guy's father's connection is to this. Maybe we'll learn something more about the what happened with this entire parish that died from the gas attack or whatever, and did this guy do it, and why, and things like that, because it's fucking insanity. It literally boggles the mind. It's almost like it was written to cause me to crash out and like Pillar of Garbage and people that have fucking criticized Mauler before. Almost like it's written so that we watch it and then we go and then he gets his revenge for all the times we've critiqued him, right? But yes, that's how I felt about it. When and starting from you can go back and watch the Showcast stream from last week, Wednesday, if you want to, see our reactions in real time to it. But it's me and Pillar of Garbage and Ryan from Nothing But Media. And starting with the very beginning of it, with just you wheel in these 4 people, you bring them in there, they've got bags on their heads. Clearly, you know what's going to happen here. That, like, so I'm saying that, like, when it starts, there's more understanding of the premise than there is whenever it's fucking over with. And it's all just written to serve as like it's an edgy boy, cool guy. Look how cool I am. This guy said a cool thing. Now this guy said a cool thing, but they don't have any relation to each other in many cases. We were trying our hardest too. We were trying to look at themes that might exist there that maybe aren't superficial. Like the All in Good Time thing. Okay, that's the name of the short film. Then they talk about time. There's clocks, but why was there a fucking clock like that in a barn? You know what I'm saying? There's a clock that belongs in like a IKEA kitchen, just resting up against the wall in a barn. It's like, dude, what? Yeah, I mean, Mike has made some pretty cringe content, I think, about me. At least I know about my friends he has. So I'm not really interested in what he thinks, but yeah. So anyway, that's still, I suppose it's subjective. I have to give that to him. I have to say that even All in Good Time could be something that strikes a chord with somebody, and I'm not going to take that away from them. That's always been my argument, is like, you can't say something is objectively bad, because that just means that, like, what's objectively bad is like, getting your fucking dick caught in your zipper or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, something that everybody that experiences it would say, this is bad. This sucks. But you can't really do that with movies, because even movies that are generally known as being the bad movie, like The Room, all of these things are based on our previous media consumption. And while many of us in the this country, or the US and Europe and stuff, we have consumed a lot of the same media, and but we haven't consumed all of it. That's why if you look at music, think about music and movies. Both probably the most popular forms of entertainment besides video games. But music, there's far more diversity in music than there is in film. I think it's safe to say. If you think about all the different genres and subgenres of music and stuff like that, like, it's just so much stuff. And then movies, there's quite a bit of diversity, but and not just that, but movies are generally advertised and marketed towards the mass audiences, right? Whereas music has, especially since the 90s, whenever that was kind of the beginning of the end of monoculture, essentially. But since, social media, monoculture's gone. You don't have, there's never going to be another Nirvana where just one band comes in and it's so popular across so many people that it just fucking wipes out a whole genre of music, like hair metal. It's not going to happen again, because people listen to such a diverse array of music now, right? And that's that's good. It's fine, whatever. But movies, it's a lot easier to make the claim that they're objective, that it's objective to say what is a good movie, because we generally watch the same shit, and so we all have previous. Somebody just show up in the stream. Who's this? Who's here? Oh my god, it's more. Hey.
Hi. Well, I gotta sit up and do stuff anyways, so may as well sit up and do it with you. Hi.
Yeah, hey. I mean, that's a good point, Autobot. Yeah. Even Damascus, they might enjoy, getting their dicks caught in the zipper. So I was trying to think of something that's a objectively bad experience that everybody would have and go, oh, that sucks. You know?
Getting a root canal,
Yeah, well,
getting teeth pulled, right? That's like, sure, the result, like afterwards, you're gonna feel better than you did before, but like, yeah, getting a
right.
toothache, right? No one enjoys getting a toothache.
So, and then I started kind of went off on a tangent about music and how music, there's such a broad variety, diversity of music, types of music, that it's much harder to make a claim that there's something that's objectively bad or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
some of the absolute best heavy metal music that like is very popular in heavy metal communities, if you give that to someone that's just listening to Taylor Swift all the time or something, they're probably
hate
gonna
it.
sucks, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what the whole point is, to say that everything that we like or don't like is subjective, and it's based on what we've experienced before, what we've consumed before, what we've accepted as a something that makes us happy for whatever reason, or makes us feel good or whatever. Or that's another thing, is you can have different reasons for liking something. So there could be a movie that is made to make you very uncomfortable, and some people will think that's a terrible, awful movie.
Right.
But like, if you're somebody who, like, I don't do it as much as I used to when I was a younger man. I liked watching movies that were actually trying to upset me,
Really.
Yeah, I mean, like Requiem for a Dream is the one that always comes to mind as being like, that's the one. Was like, I saw it, I did see it twice, but then I was like, I'm never going to see it again, because I had to show it to a friend after I saw it. But like,
right,
it's so fucking upsetting by the end of it. It's just like, oh, I need to go to church and go to fucking take a shower. And
it is that sort of movie. Yeah.
So, but I mean, there's movies that are meant to be there's one called Scarlett Johansson, the movie called Under the Skin, I think it's called, where it's very non-traditional narrative and very weird, and she's an alien who looks like Scarlett Johansson. She's a form of an attractive lady, and she kills dudes.
Oh, cool.
And
I respect it.
That's basically what it is, and it's kind of boring, in my opinion, the first part of it. I've heard other people say that they think it's really compelling and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's all to say that up until now, I had to give it to Mauler that all in good time, there could be somebody that is exactly what they want to see out of a short film.
It's hypothetically possible.
It's hard to imagine, but they probably haven't seen the movie Suicide Kings. If they because otherwise they've already gotten that itch scratched. That's essentially the far better version of that.
Oh yeah,
it's Christopher Walken. He's basically taped to a chair the whole time. He's got Jay Moore and a bunch of these other guys that were kind of popular in the early 2000s.
Sure.
Like they kidnap him and they're trying to get a ransom out of him, but he's Christopher Walken and he's playing these fuckers a little bit, and freaks him out with what he knows and doesn't know and what he's able to do and not able to. It's fun time. Yeah. And that's kind of what this almost is, where it's the guy in the chair is actually he's not your average, literally not your average hostage, because the other ones that got taken, they got shot immediately.
Right. Everyone else gets shot right away. So it's an attempt was made.
Joker's a little bit like that for me. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, look, and that's because I think Joker, this is just my opinion once again, but I think that Joker it plays with elements that I think a lot of people recognize as like, the way that mental health is treated, the way that, or mentally ill people are treated, the way that, people are just different or have some kind of disability are treated. That's all, it's just handled very poorly by the end.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give you anything satisfying. In fact, it just gives you, the only thing you can take from it is, so just kind of give up on society, I guess.
It's kind of the overall message of it.
But all of that is done well. It's a well-made film for sure. Anyway, it depends on what you want out of it. But yes, all in good time. It's not good. I think it's pretty bad, actually. But then so we covered that. I was like, I haven't talked about Mauler in a while. We talked about his short film. That was fun. Got to hang out with Pillar of Garbage and Ryan. My Brit Bonger buddies, as I just called them. That's the first time I've ever called them that. But then The Boys ended, and I know this is the third or fourth stream maybe that I've talked about The Boys.
Yeah, Dane, how many times are you going to bring The Boys to show and
tell?
Well,
here's the thing. I didn't expect it to be such a flashpoint. I thought that people had kind of either weren't watching anymore if they didn't like it, or that I didn't think it was going to become such a thing. But as I
Right.
should have recognized, the Chuds have been desperate for stuff to talk about for a while.
Oh, they're thirsty.
And I don't know if Mauler's going to make any content about this, or if maybe he already has, but he posted about it, and he posted quite a bit.
Oh
Also
no.
seems to maybe be suggest that he pays for Twitter, which is weird.
Ew, gross. Don't pay.
You know what?
For
You have to
Twitter.
pay for Twitter to get be able to write a bunch of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's part of what they let you do with that. Oh god, so why would you pay for Twitter? What a loser. What a weenie.
He's got to reach his far right audience, and I think that's part of what's going on here. But I don't think that this is grifting. I think that Mauler is, over the last few years anyway, since he got with Gary and these guys, he started doing some, grifting here and there.
Sure.
Like, what I mean by that is I think that he's sincere. I think that he sincerely believes the shit that he says. I think it's
Yeah.
And now,
I think
he's
sometimes
just,
we think.
Hmm?
I think sometimes we want to tell ourselves that these people don't really believe the awful things they say, because like, how could they be so awful? But I mean, their audience says those things, and they're all awful. It's
yeah. Well, it's true. I mean, I've kind of realized more recently that I think Gary is less dishonest, or at least believes the things he says more than I was giving him credit for.
Sure.
But that's neither here nor there. Let's I want to talk about this because, okay, so Homelander, and there's going to be spoilers galore here for the final episode of The Boys. Okay. Oh shit. There's actually
The Boys.
Made my chair go down. Don't go down, chair. So what happens in the finale is Billy Butcher, as it was pretty obvious was most likely going to happen, he killed Homelander.
Right.
And in order to do that, they had a few different threads that they had set in motion over the last few seasons, and especially this last one, of different ways that it could be possible to kill him. There was quite a few red herrings thrown out there, and I would say that, because I have seen some people, what I believe in good faith, say that this season was weird in like the pacing of it and just some of the seemingly random stuff. And I think the random stuff that they're noticing are things that were done to throw us off from the pretty obvious set ending of what would happen if you really thought about it.
Yeah.
So like he's gonna have to lose his powers, and he's gonna have to get killed. And that's like pretty obvious. That's what he deserves. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever deserved it more.
Well, and especially because like The Boys is a superhero universe that isn't. They don't just send the bad guys to jail. Like, it's a pretty deadly setting.
Yep.
So like,
and he's
what,
also
what
just
did
the kind
you
of
think
guy
was
that
going to happen?
he's far too powerful to and irredeemable. Like once you reach a certain level of power and irredeemability, you just got to go. But
Yeah.
it was pretty. I thought that what would happen, and they did a pretty decent job of kind of subverting this a bit. So Soldier Boy was set up in season 3 as having a power that it came to him while he was being experimented on by the Russians, or they kind of had a Winter Soldier thing going on with him.
Sure.
And so he had been, they'd unfreeze him and use him for stuff, but the boys find him at season 3, and he's got this chest blast power that they call it, where it's like essentially they overloaded him with radiation, and because he had Compound V in his system, or the original Compound V, which made him super duper badass, he could live through it. But so they did it so much trying to see what would happen, I guess testing his limits, that now he gets angry and he can explode this blast of radioactivity that depletes the powers from anybody that has powers in the vicinity that he shoots at, kind of thing.
Okay.
That seems pretty clear, especially once they set up that he is Homelander's father. And that then of course he got kind of stuck in a tube at the end of that season, and then season 4 came and went, and nothing really came of it until the finale of season 4, and you see that Homelander's thinking about getting him out of there, and he does. So we knew he was going to be back for this season. There he is. There's a guy that can literally take away your powers,
right?
And he's the son of Homelander, and he's already shown that he's not the biggest fan of Homelander. He's not against him yet, but he's kind of weirded out by him. And this season being that he was the only character that Homelander gave any kind of respect to, because he wants his daddy to love him.
Sure.
Which plays into the ending here. And so it's like, okay, and he got really weirded out, and then he started to leave. And I think the last episode before Soldier Boy was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here before all the shit was obviously about to goes down. Meaning he thought that Homelander was about to make everybody worship him as God and kill anybody that didn't.
Right.
And so, but then Homelander actually just grabs him and knocks him out and puts him back in the tube. And I'm like, oh, so he's just going to be in the tube, and somehow that's going to get opened up whenever the last minute, and he's going to come out and he's going to do the chest blast and get home.
That'll be that.
So there was that, but there was also another moment where they had there was a radioactivity chamber thing. I think it was maybe one of the ones like that experimented on Soldier Boy with, and for a moment Soldier Boy did try to kill him earlier in the season. Homelander forgave him for it. He got him stuck in this tank, this chamber, and turned on the radioactivity, and it showed that type of radiation can kill him. It started depleting him, and then we see that again in the next last episode a little bit. Whenever Frenchie, the character that's played by the former IDF guy,
right?
He had a very good fucking death scene. I'll be honest, it was fucking excellent. He's died in that episode, but before he did, he managed to blast Homelander with some radiation, and enough to distract him from finding the other characters that were hiding in the building. And yeah, so he went out saving them. But nonetheless, so that's what I think all those detours kind of were. We're like, where's the ending going to come from, rather than just let this go through the whole season, waiting for the final confrontation of like Soldier Boy and Homelander, and whatever. So they were giving us different ways that Homelander might be taken out, or they might try, or that they could try and wouldn't work. And so that was definitely, I can understand that being a criticism and being valid. I didn't really feel that way about it. I was just taking it one episode at a time. And but one of the things that Mauler doesn't say this exactly, but this does lead into what he says. It's related to tangential to. So one of the things that I've seen over and over again are people saying that the stakes weren't high enough. That the show that it's about, even a YouTuber actually said this, that it's about payoff or setup and payoff, and it set up so much stuff that it did not pay off. And before he explained what he meant, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Literally everything. And I realize now, and it's the same thing I realize basically every time there's a finale and it goes this way. Right. Some people pay more attention to broad things happening rather than character resolutions.
Sure. Yeah, that's pretty. That happens.
This show gave so many good, like the character resolutions were fucking excellent, except for one that I can get into later, one or two, but that's because they canceled the other goddamn show. Anyway, because one of the other ways that they had set up, by the way, that to maybe defeat Homelander was a literal spin-off show called Gen V, where one of the characters, the main character, Marie, she is a bloodbender, basically. She can control blood, and so she, it shows her getting more powerful at that, especially in the second season. She kind of trains a little bit more, and she learns how to control blood and that's literally what they told her, that you're going to be so powerful that you're going to want you to take on Homelander. That's what they expressly said, that she was going to be the purpose of her.
So that was like the young X-Men show they had on too. Was that the one where there was younger people and they were at a school?
Like Gifted or no?
No, Gen V. Wasn't that like a?
Oh yeah. That's what that was. There was a college.
I'm following. Yeah, college.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, and they expressly said that's what her purpose is, right? And that she was actually part of the same program that Homelander was part of early on when he was little. That kind of, I don't remember exactly what the details were, but it was pretty clear that they set this up, and I think it's what their intentions were. They did have the Gen V characters crossed over into the last season of The Boys, at finale anyway, and then there was a little crossover throughout that season, I think, and then there was a crossover of one or two of the characters from The Boys onto Gen V in its second season. So they were cross pollinating and stuff like that, and it seemed pretty clear that at least to some degree she was going to play a role in the finale, and that did not. That was because season 3 of Gen V got canceled before they did it, and I guess it seems really silly to create a whole character and alternate show that's gonna your finale on your main show is gonna depend on, when you don't know for sure that. So yeah, so they did pay off to a degree. They had the characters from Gen V in this, but it was kind of just more like, oh yeah, we have to do something with you so people don't wonder where you were at, and
right.
So here, you take care of these people that we're saving at this house over here. Don't be part of this main action though. Don't do that.
Right. Don't matter too much.
Yeah, you had your show, you blew it. No. So that was kind of, I think one thing that I think nobody would disagree is pretty lame and how that worked out. But
Yeah.
Nonetheless, so the main thing, people saying that there should have been a like fucking art, apocalyptic type of battle happening. And I'm going to pull up some marketing stuff real quick if you want to talk to the people while I look for this.
Sure. So I think when you're talking about like a TV show finale, because this is not the first time that a TV show that has been well received, people have said that ending doesn't pay it off. And part of the problem is that the longer a story goes on, the less you can pay everything off.
Yeah.
Because these shows don't have one writer. Every episode has a different writer. There's a writer's room. Actors' availabilities change, etc., etc. Producers, all of the logistics that goes into making a TV show. You're never gonna pay off everything. So I think that's just important to keep in mind. Like, I imagine when people go back to this in a few years and like binge it streaming, that won't matter as much because you won't have the years and years of waiting and speculating. You'll already know that, yeah, the finale misses a few things because I think I heard someone saying that the woman who plays, what is it, Maeve is the Wonder Woman analog.
She quit acting. Yeah.
Yeah, she just retired from acting, so she's like, she doesn't come back for a cameo or anything, even though she's alive still. She just kind of left the show.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made sense. It would make sense for her to show back up to be like, I came to finish this off or whatever. Like, sure. But yeah, apparently she just, I mean, which is weird. I'm not going to question what her choice is, but she's pretty young and, she's pretty good. So retiring is a choice.
It's a decision, but I respect it.
So he got two posters here, and really from a quick glance, these are the only two I can find that are like this, which kind of makes me even more like, oh, guys. So some of the promotional material looked like this.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Which is very, that's a thing. Let me show you this other one here. Okay. So there was, there's rubble, there's embers, there's fire, there's, smoke and
sure.
There's Homelander and he's overlooking the whole world and you got explosions going off and he's just like, yeah. So some people took that as promise that this show was going to just be an apocalyptic battle or this season. This whole it was going to be that. And it's just like, oh, so you mean like in season 2 when it showed them filming the 7 movie, and that's exactly what it looked like. So what you're saying is you expected this show to devolve into the thing that it satirizes,
that it parodied, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's exactly like symbolism, and it's also, it just would have. There's almost no better way to betray the show's, what it actually is than to do that, or what Mauler talks about here in a few minutes. We'll look at.
Oh no,
there's no better way than to betray the show than to do that. It was always going to be, as Eric Kripke has said in interviews I've been listening to. First of all, he said people seem to have wanted Berlin 1944, 1945. He wanted to do Berlin 1938, which is far more interesting.
Yeah, because we see a lot of stories that take place towards the end of World War II.
Yeah.
Getting a story that's inspired by how it looks right as it's beginning is a whole different type of story, and one that I think is more relevant to today's, people.
Yeah, this is exactly what they wanted. Like, why? First of all, I don't know that would have been a possible battle. I don't know that Homelander is even that powerful. And here's the thing: is the more chuds are saying dumb shit about this, and then I look at it and I think about it, I'm like, wait a second, I'm actually appreciating the season series finale a hell of a lot more now.
I think they're making you like it more.
They pretty much nailed it, because the more I have to in my mind, because I do take these things not serious, but I mean, like, I will try to see the validity in any argument that isn't outright dumb on its face, And so when I think it through, I'm like, wait a second. No, if they did this, that would look just like it did. They're literally wanting to do the thing that they already filmed a version of, which was just a movie set,
and it was a show.
It was cheesy as hell. It was like the one you said you didn't see season 2, right?
I'm partway through.
So there was the they did the fucking end game, the women heroes.
Yeah, the girls get it done.
Girls
thing,
get it done, and
right.
And then in the finale of that season, whenever they all come together to kick the shit out of the Nazi bitch,
Right.
it's
And
like
the,
three
the
women
one guy
kicking the
is
shit out
standing
of. He's
aside,
like,
going like, "Girls really do get it
he's
done."
like, girls really do get it done, which is fucking great. That was awesome. But like, that's the show. The show is not the actually doing the thing that they were, filming a movie version of. That's just
They
silly.
wanted the parody version of the show to be the show. That's weak sauce, boys.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the budget, talking about the budget of this show is weird because I feel like that indicates just by talking about it that it looks bad or something, and it doesn't. I feel like the way this everything was handled really well. The scenes that were, as big as they needed to be. If you actually give a shit about certain things, like some of these film bros pretend like they do, the literal final time, or whenever we see, we go back to Vought Tower at the very end to whenever Huey goes to find Butcher, right? What do we see? It's a fucking exact same shot that we first saw of Homelander in the show. Period.
Oh,
Where he's standing with his, standing in the window of the Vought Tower at the in the
looking
boardroom,
out the
window, and it's like, I didn't recognize that whenever it happened, but I saw somebody pointed that out. I'm like, holy shit, that's good. That's the kind of stuff that anybody that really respects filmmaking and narrative should appreciate. I feel like,
right.
That Butcher had become, the guy now that's like, oh, okay, he's a villain.
Now you're the problem.
And then, and then I saw people saying that they could have just, why didn't they just release the virus? They should have just released the virus. Like, dude, his girlfriend is a stoop. She would have died, and like lots of other people would have died. And as Eric Kripke has pointed out, that wouldn't have just it maybe it didn't kill every soup, but the ones that were left would then take it as like, oh, they're trying to kill us all. We need to kill people now. And
right.
It just to not think through the fucking ramifications of something like that. That's what Butcher was doing. That's what Butcher's problem was.
Right. And like I think to like given that like he's supposed to disperse this virus and he's just standing in the tower and he gets killed before them.
Yeah.
Part of him wanted them to stop him.
Well, so he claims that it's actually in the because who asked him about that? He claims it's in the water system. That whenever there's some people show up in the morning when everybody's in there, to go, they did not confirm or deny if that was true or not. I mean, I guess so, because they do kind of fight over the trigger mechanism, and that's kind of. But here's the thing that me and Jen argued about a little bit. Not argued, but like, so we were watching the finale, and there's a moment whenever Huey shows that he's got a gun. And Butcher's like, oh wow, you're really, you're not going to use that on me, son. And he goes to grab the device, and he's got his fingers on it, and he starts thinking about Becca and his wife, ex-wife, that got killed by well, first raped and then eventually yes. So like just think about the people that he loved, the whole reason why he started on this journey in the first place, and he's about to do it. Then he looks at Huey and paying off something that was set up at least in season 2, maybe even season 1. I don't remember where they first started going into this. He reminds him of Butcher's brother that died. Huey reminds him of his younger brother that he used to kind of look after and take care of, and he always kept him out of trouble and stuff. And he looks at Huey one last time, right when he's about to pull the trigger, and he sees a flash of his brother, and then it shows his hand, and his fingers loosen up, and then blam, Huey shoots him. And it's fucking tragic because it's kind of like he doesn't say that anything. He wouldn't say like, Huey, oh, well, I'm dying. I want you to know I wasn't gonna do it or anything.
Right.
He lets him think he did the right thing because he did, and he essentially served the purpose that both in the comics and in the show Huey was there to do. In both versions, he didn't understand why Butcher chose him, and it all came back to the fact that Butcher knew he was going to probably need to be stopped at some point, and he needed somebody that he could trust to do it. And,
right.
Which is a version of almost not heroism, but like decent personism underneath the fucking revenge motive that Butcher was driven by.
Right.
Anyway, so it's good stuff. I just feel like it's pretty good. But then, even more so, Homelander. I did not see any whenever it happened, I'm like, oh, this is great. This is perfect ending for him. Yeah, good stuff. First of all, it does pay tribute to the comic books a bit. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close.
Sure.
Yep. So here's oh my god, your takes are always so bizarre, man. Pause movies because no one deserves them. What about the people that work on them, that make money, that their careers, their livelihoods are built?
I think that they should just pause all movies. Who is they?
Yeah.
And to what? Huh? All right, dude. Anyways, moving on.
The first part was in the script. The second part was Anthony Starr's contribution.
Yeah, you mentioned that last night.
Bob's like, come on, guys, Jesus Christ, he's never gonna get there. All right, here we go.
Oh no, God, Dane, you need a trigger warning for that.
My skin didn't char, but I was screaming in agony. My tears just sizzled away. That is a quote by Homelander. Okay, so like starting off, oh look, that's a quote from Homelander. Maybe he has something to say here, and then you immediately realize that he does not understand what the fuck he was seeing. Homelander has a few moments that give insight to his relationship with pain. It defined his life, and yet he has grown numb to it. He responds with anger in almost every instance of challenge, but that's not because of the pain. It's the sheer desire for vengeance on a world that created him to receive and perform every torture and manipulation. What?
Okay.
What? Okay. Homelander, yes,
he's petty. He's not vengeful. Like, he lashes out in anger because he's petty and can't control his emotions. He's not vengeful.
And to say that he was created to receive and perform every torture and manipulation is just not even remotely accurate. He was created, to basically to be a weapon that the U.S. could, Vought could sell to the military.
Right.
Essentially what they wanted to do. And then other than that, he wasn't supposed to perform and receive every torture and manipulation. Like this is the writing of a guy who knows what words mean, and he understands that if you say certain words in certain order, then it can have like a superficial effect. But like that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's a complete.
It's gobbledygook. It really.
Homelander took on 3 soups at once, got beaten, tossed around, and nearly killed. He was inches from losing everything, but he didn't even hint at begging. He simply got more and more furious. And he's talking about in season 3 finale against Soldier Boy, Maeve, and Busher.
Sure.
Yeah. That's and reading this, I think there's like one indication, kinda, but other than this one thing here in a minute, I don't know if he recognizes that Butcher didn't have his powers. I mean, that Homelander didn't have powers. This reads like he thinks it's just the same scenario all over again. It's like, what the fuck do you think do you think nothing's gonna change about a person's personality if you have a guy that's carried a gun around all the time, and he's just like, anytime somebody fucking crosses him, he just shoots him. Just shoot you. And he's fucking got a bad attitude, right? And then somebody comes along and says, hey, give me that gun. Takes it from him and is like, hey, you piece of shit, always shooting people. You think that guy's gonna be like, yeah, you fuck motherfucker, I'll shoot people? Like, he's not gonna have the same attitude anymore because he's dependent on that fucking gun. He's fucking dependent on the gun. Homelander is literally in the entire run of the show never in a different costume, never in a regular person's clothing, never, not once, not one single time. And I think that says something about the character, right? He is completely fabricated literally in a lab. He was manufactured. All this aura that people are contributing to him of being like, oh, he should have fucking gone out, like taken out the military and stuff like that. That's not only Vought manufactured that shit, but that's in his own fucking head. That's who he is.
Right.
And he knows that he's not really that. Like if you go back to season 2, I think, or 3, whichever one, where he fucking lasers a whole crowd full of people. It's a really awesome sequence. It looks cool and stuff. He gets mad and he just fucking and when you first see it, you think it's really happening. You're like, oh God, he's losing it. He's lost it. But then you realize he was just fantasizing about that because that's all he do. All he is. Listen to me, Mauler, Callum Edmunds, understand this. In the first season of the show, Homelander had beef with a fucking baby, dude.
That's right.
He was jealous of a baby. Are you fucking idiot? What the fuck? Like,
what is wrong with you, child?
What else do you need to show you that this is a extremely hollow, deeply insecure, like deeper, probably even more so than you, Mauler. I know you don't like to like even show up on the film sets of movies that are being made of your script and stuff like that. But like, very, very insecure. However insecure you are, just imagine that times like 50. And the fact that he's got all these powers and he can do the stuff that he's done, the more he does it, it doesn't make him feel more secure with himself. It didn't make him feel more secure when he ripped what was it, the spider guy, whatever, he ripped that guy in half. That was a fucking horrifying scene last season. Like, just literally walks up to the guy, grabs him by the shoulders, and just goes and fucking rips him in half. Like down the middle, not it's upsetting. That didn't make him feel better. That didn't make him feel like he's a strong guy. He has the ability to do strong feats, but
nothing makes him feel good. He's he lashes out because he's upset. But then after he realizes, oh, I broke that thing, he just moves on to the next thing because he doesn't know what to do about it.
He's never, consequences don't mean anything to him. Yeah, exactly. He's literally as a child that never fucking matured past the 12 or 13-year-old, like, oh, fuck you, I'm a badass. And like, usually people go through a phase when they're, maybe teenagers or whatever age it is, where you maybe get a little full of yourself and you got to get smacked around a little bit, metaphorically speaking, sometimes, to realize, oh wait, no, I can't just treat people like shit. I can't do that.
Right.
I have to be more considerate of, consequences of my actions, stuff like that. He never, like a billionaire, he never experienced that. He never had to.
Well, yeah, he's the epitome of born on third base and thinks he hit a triple.
So think about this. Like, I'm sure many of you have had moments in your life where something terrible happened. It was like a breakup or something like that you just like, you became an emotional wreck, right? And even if just for a few minutes or an evening or whatever, you had that time where you were fucking like, you were a desperate mess, right? Most of us have that privately. And maybe, one person, a roommate or family or something like that might experience it, but Homelander, having never had that happen, suddenly had to have it happen in the White House, in the Oval Office, in front of live action, in front of live TV. Right. That was the moment. And so of realizing, oh, I'm, bargaining, which is one of the steps of grief, right? That was him bargaining. You know what? Let's continue reading this. So I want to get to how fucking absurd this is.
Okay, let's continue.
So watch his fight with Maeve in season 3. She can and does make him bleed, but he goes for vengeance and immediately takes her eye. He goes for a fucking easy fucking, pocket sand move. That's what
he's flashing out. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not. It's not. He's enraged, but someone doesn't know the difference between being angered and being vengeful. Those are very.
This is somebody that thinks that he's angry. He probably sees himself as being righteously vengeful. That's probably how he sees it.
Like I hate to bring up the classics, but has this person? Are they familiar with the Count of Monte Cristo? Because, like, when I think of someone who is vengeful, that's what I think about it. Vengeance isn't a mood. Vengeance is a process.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. He's not a bully. I mean, he is a bully. He's not an anti-hero. He's not even Frank Castle, who I've, fucking many times said is a piece of shit and like probably should not have comic books, about him and stuff like that. But he has far more of or I guess far less of just irredeemable qualities than even Homelander.
oh yeah, for sure.
What Frank Castle does, it's wrong and fucked up, but it's at least coming from a place that your average person can kind of relate to in its source.
Speaking of vengeance, Frank Castle has a method.
Yeah. So
it's not a good method. It's not a healthy method. It's not a moral method, but it is.
There's 2 more pages of this. Let's get.
Not
because he's so scared of causing him. He's so scared of her causing him pain, but because he wants her to suffer, much like anyone else. Crossing him as part of getting his payback. Are you kidding me? To think that he thought through all this through in the moment right before he just fucking snatched her eye out, or what? I don't remember. I think that's what happened. That's fucking crazy. Same for the guys who tortured him when he was a child. Yeah, the guys who he went and fucking, made sit through an entire evening of just watching each other get killed, one by one in the lab because, that's probably one of my favorite episodes of the whole series, by the way. And that was fucking excellent performance from Anthony Starr there. Just what if Superman, who was, mistreated and grown in a lab and poked and prodded and treated like shit, what if he got to go have revenge on the people that did it? So Homelander lasered his own arm open and didn't give much of a shit because pain isn't okay. So we're here at the end of this first page, and Mauler thinks that this is about pain. He thinks that that's what's going on in the finale, that he's so in such pain that he's gonna we'll get there in a second. But his egomaniacal psychopath with a horrific history of intense childhood trauma turning him into a vengeful monster. Wow, at least you can acknowledge that. But like that, what? This is such a misread of the holy shit, man. That's what he always was, really. That's what he's always been, a vengeful fucking monster child.
My only disagreement was I don't think he's vengeful because that implies too much thought on it, where he's such an impulsive, needy creature.
Yep. Let me say this one more time. He had beef with a baby because the baby's mother was taking away his titty time. Okay.
Yeah.
He wanted to be on the titty, and the baby had to get the titties first. So he didn't get to have the titty when he wanted the titty. That's who Homelander is. Okay.
Yes.
It's almost like more of a fucking childish in the most literal sense than we can even comprehend. That's the type of motive that he has. Right.
Pure, unmitigated, unfiltered man-child.
Yep. Page 2. The ending feels more like self-masturbatory fantasy where Kripke sees his enemies begging to suck his cock while he kills them. What?
That's
bro.
What?
So the one of the things that people have a lot of problem with is the lines, I'll suck your dick, I'll eat your shit. But you got to think those were not the first things that he said. The first things that he offered in his bargaining were, first of all, he tried to, use the fact that he had not killed Butcher before, for various reasons. He didn't actually do it.
Sure.
Mainly because Butcher had stuff on him. Another time because Butcher had powers himself and kind of kicked his ass.
Like
and ran away like a bitch. But he's like, oh, I could have killed you all those times I killed you. He tried that, and he tried to get a little, badass with that moment. That didn't work, obviously. Then he goes, what about Becca? I'll give you Becca back. And at first you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? She's dead. He goes, I'll have a shapeshifter pretend to be her for you. And if that's I really want you guys that get mad about the next things he says, go back and focus on that sentence, because that
is when you showed me the finale, that is the moment that I'm like, oh, now he is dead.
Not just that, but he actually thinks that's going to work, because that's right. In season 1 and 2, I believe he's fucking the shapeshifter who's looking like a whatever woman he was fuck or whatever. Right, so that's his connection to love, essentially, is like loving an adult. Is I can get a shapeshifter to look like how I want to fuck, and so that's what he thinks is going to be satisfactory to Butcher. He has no comprehension of the damage that he's done to this man. He has no comprehension of the fact that he's fucking taken the human being, the very specific individual human being that's not just a shapeshifter that looks like her, and it's fucking, that should be what you think about, to think about how far off Homelander is from any kind of psychology that you can fucking relate to or even map onto. Like, it's fucking crazy. And then he, that didn't work, obviously. And then he says, well, I'll suck your dick, I'll eat your shit, I'll eat your shit on live TV or whatever. And it's like, okay, so he's just saying anything that he can in that moment, because this is a guy who,
he's bargaining.
The only thing that he's identified himself with, the thing that's allowed him to be anybody ever, and be literally on the top of the world just 5 minutes prior, and now he doesn't have that. So yeah, he's gonna make some offers. You know what I mean?
Boy, does he.
Right. Yeah. Acting like he's just a trauma. Look, we have to get to a point where we have to be able to distinguish who's worthy of expending energy, pathologizing them. I think that Homelander is probably one, like Donald Trump. I know that Donald Trump's upbringing is a big part of why he is the way that he is. And then part of me can theoretically have some empathy for that, but there's no reason to. There's no reason in applying that in practical terms because of the fucking monster that he is and the harm that he's caused.
So I can have empathy for a Homelander. I can have empathy for all of the traumatized characters in this show, but that doesn't mean that by having empathy, I accept their bad decisions. I go, I get it. I see why you are the way you are. you're still a problem. Like, you got to manage your shit.
Yep.
And he doesn't want to manage his shit because he's
No.
a psychopathic man-child.
He has no reason to. Oh god, he literally fucking flies Elon Musk into space. That was so great.
See,
I mean,
I empathize with that.
it wasn't actually, obviously Elon Musk, but
I
I mean, it was
know.
pretty clearly meant to be him. And then, like, apparently Musk got mad about it on Twitter. He was,
You'll love to see it.
and because they don't actually watch the show, and I'm questioning if Mauler did it all. I'm honestly questioning if he really did, because what I'm thinking he might do is just catch highlight clips or something.
Sure.
So like he clearly has seen certain scenes. He clearly knows certain things that have happened, but I don't know. It just reads to me like this is somebody that's just watching YouTube clips of the stuff that people tell him is badass or whatever. And, yeah.
Which, I mean, fair enough, but well.
So let me get this off of here. Broken Monster. Wait. It does not, however, for many in the audience, feel like the ending for Homelander. But it is. It clearly is the ending because he gets a fucking crowbar through his head and then his fucking cap flipped off. The top of his head flipped open.
Yeah, well,
got a literal fucking. You can see like it shows him laying there several times after it happens, and like you can just see like this groove through the middle of his brain. It's pretty brutal. But a broken monster losing the only avenue. So I would argue with the broken thing. He's never been fixed. He's never been in a correct state. Let's say that. Yeah. Homelander was never ever a regular person to be broken. He was never even that. It's one thing to be, and that's what the difference I think is between somebody like Frank Castle or whatever. Is Frank Castle was, for all his faults, he was a Marine after all. He was a person. And then, of course, the comics. I've been reading some comics. They just want to depict him as like basically a psycho since birth now. But anyway.
Yeah, kind of. They.
Well, at least Garth Ennis has.
Well, Garth, that's a recurring problem with Mr. Ennis.
Well, I mean, look who we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
A broken monster losing the only avenue of enacting vengeance on the terrible world that he always wanted approval from. What? I mean, so like it's bizarre. He does get that right. He does. He's desperate for approval. That's his whole thing, right?
But that's his whole motivation. Okay, you've said something correct finally.
I'm trying to avoid saying anything that I know that so edgier than now. I don't think they'll mind me saying. They got kind of baited whenever I posted this in Discord, and they were like, "All right, fine, I'm going to make a video about it." So I've already read a little bit of what they've written about it, and I'm trying to avoid really trying to like. There's a couple of things that they wrote that I'm like, I did think of that, I did say something about that, but I'm trying to say it without using their words or kind of getting on top of what they wrote at all. So if I do, I apologize, but I'm trying to keep it in mind, and I'm trying not to, because I know it's going to be a fantastic video and it's going to say things way more eloquently than I do. But it was just a raw fucking drive that I had after reading it last night that I'm just like, I gotta say something about this shit.
This is really bad.
I would have perhaps expected him to see red, to enter an impotent rage. He did that.
He tried, yeah.
Unable to do the damage he's desperate to achieve, only to reach a despondent end.
Yep, that's what happens.
I mean,
like he has the rage, right? He tries to fly. He tries to punch him. He realizes,
does he not Is he not considering Butcher is an agent in this as well?
No. Well, do you know why? It's because only main characters have agency, and who's the main character of the show if you're Mauler? Seemingly, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, like, okay, let's say if he tried to lash out and then he just gives up and he meets a despondent end, like he just gives up. Oh, he's saying instead of fucking begging for his life is what he's saying. Okay,
that's a despondent end. Is like.
Well, despondent would be like he's like fine, just whatever, kill him.
Sure.
That would be like what Soldier Boy did earlier in the season when he said that exact thing to Homelander after Homelander got out of the radiation chamber that he locked him in, and Soldier Boy is just like at that point he's just like, just fucking kill me. He's not even looking at him, because the difference between Soldier Boy, who is kind of a piece of shit too,
yeah, because everyone in the show kind of is. He's
a human being, you know what I mean? Like, at least was this kind of human being kind of guy. Not everybody in the show is. Huey's not a piece of shit. Come on.
Huey has had some piece of shit moments, but
he's learned though. He's learning to bet.
He's learned. Yeah, he does a lot. Everyone on the show does a lot of growing, which I think is the upside.
Except for Homelander, and really, Yeah, I guess Butcher does a little bit because his
Butcher
whole plan
comes and goes, right? It doesn't
when
stick.
at the start of this season, his plan was simply to release the virus. He didn't care who it killed.
Right.
Then later in the seasons, as stuff went on, he started seeing like the moments between Huey and Annie and Kimiko and Frenchie and stuff, and he started he didn't say it out loud, but you could tell he was kind of pondering like maybe I shouldn't just kill those people just because I want to
Right.
kill other superheroes. But then he was going to end up, because what happened in the finale is after the Homelander thing, they go home or to wherever they go, and they're hanging out. They're all having a beer. Seems like everybody's chill, everybody's happy. And then he goes in to visit his dog Terror, who is not alive anymore. In the intervening time, Terror has passed away, and they've said throughout the show he's old and blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah.
So that, and then right before that, rather, Ryan, who was not his son, but he
It's Homelander's son, right? Yeah.
Homelander's son, and he had treated Ryan like utter shit. And maybe he didn't mean some of the stuff that he said when he said terrible things to him in like season 3 or whatever.
Right.
But he said it because he was trying to manipulate the situation, because that's what Butcher did.
Right.
So he wanted Ryan pissed off and to not be wherever he was or whatever. So he said some shitty things to him. And then he tried to, earlier in the season, they get together, they have a beer, and he tries to, reconcile. Ryan doesn't want to do it. And then in the final moments of this the season series, he tries again. He says, hey, Ryan, we can go, live somewhere. And Ryan's like, no, I don't want to live with you either. You're fucking too.
You're also kind of a dirtbag. Yeah.
And he leaves. And then right after that, he goes and finds Terror is dead. And that's what motivates him to
Sets
go,
him over.
Fuck this. And he goes and gets in the car and heads to the tower to go, kill all the Supes.
Right.
Do you know the significance of that tweet, by the way? We looked at it last night. It's pretty great.
Oh, this tweet is.
So that is a direct reference.
Yeah.
To when Charlie Kirk died. Remember that
guy? I've heard the name, yeah.
So yeah, this is the deep. This is the Deep Thoughts with Deep is a fan account, and they said, source tells me the Deep is stable. Please God.
Now, this is a quality shit post.
It truly is. And the fact that the official boys account retweeted it is I like that too as well. I mean, I can also see an argument for maybe you shouldn't have done that.
It's an irreverent show. Why wouldn't an irreverent show continue to be irreverent?
I mean, look, he's still pretty stable. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think his condition has
change. Not changed. Yeah, it's stayed the same for a minute now. Yeah, that's technically true.
So Ryan, yeah, they lost their powers, but I think Ryan's will come back. That's what I think. I think that Ryan,
okay.
And possibly if Butcher had not, bid it, then his might have come back too. Maybe even Homelanders. We don't know. But,
right, we don't know how the radiation thing works entirely, right?
Yep. Okay, let's finish off this thing because it's really bad and stupid. Okay, here we go. Ending on a hard fought, bloody fight with Butcher. Oh god, this is where it gets so cringe, guys. Wait, I missed one.
It just starts getting. Oh, okay.
Knowing he is now incapable of taking revenge, and has simply deal with his psychopathy. It's almost like he gets right up on the line of it and then fucking takes a shit on the line. Ending on a hard-fought, bloody fight with Butcher, who would have eventually win due to his training. No, he instantly won because Homelander's had no training whatsoever. He's never ever had to do anything without super strength and speed and stuff. Butcher has, been fucking fighting Supes for several years now. Eventually win due to his training, but at the very least, give us a decent back and forth about how much meaning could be drawn from this fight. What meaning? That's what I want to know, Mauler. Explain what meaning would come from
this.
No. Because I think you're just evoking meaning without actually understanding anything about what you're saying. I think that's what's happening. He's just saying meaning when it's like, what the fuck could you draw from a fight? This is literally the only way this fight could have gone. It represented both characters perfectly.
Right.
Okay.
Fucking. Well, I said this last night. Like, having seen, the better part of 2 seasons of the show, everything I've heard about this ending is exactly what I would have thought would have come about. Right. The depowering, him begging.
Yeah, that's good.
Huey having to talk Billy
Before you
down.
start saying that fights need to have meaning, Mauler, you need to understand that conversation should have some meaning, because the entire conversation that you two characters have in that fucking short film, nothing means anything. Nothing matters. So. Right, exactly. He's never not been one.
Right.
Butcher was created by Homelander, and there's something to say about both men being exposed nerves turned empty shells, struggling. No, Butcher became an empty shell the moment that he killed Homelander. That's what happened. Like, you can see it. Like, and it's, dude, Carl Urban's so fucking good.
He's such a good actor. He's good
He
in
kills
everything.
him, and then immediately he kind of looks around and he's just like, that's it. You know, and that's kind of how he's feeling whenever he's thinking, well, at least I can go back home to Ryan and Terror. You know, and
Right.
he goes home and Ryan doesn't want to do anything with him, have anything to do with him, and Terror dies. So, yeah.
Well, and why would Ryan? Like, sure, like Becca was Butcher's wife and Ryan's mom, but like he's not Butcher's kid, and Butcher's been shit to him, and I'm sure he probably blames both Butcher and Homelander for his mom getting killed.
Wait, you watched part of it where you checked out, but then you saw the finale? I don't understand what you're saying, man. I'm gonna stop reading chat now.
Okay.
I would picture them both drenched in blood. Of course you would, Mauler.
Of course.
Fighting to the bitter end. They did. Devoid of humanity. They kind of did. Demanding payment. Like, the only thing about Butcher is that he at some point did have humanity, and that loss of that human connection is what's driving him. So that's why it's easier to be on his side, obviously. But in actuality, in the moment, no, there's not really any humanity there. There's just, I want to see this guy's brains emptied out. Demanding payment for something they can't even fully rationalize anymore. I mean, Butcher can. After having taken, like, just so much of this stuff is like a fucking just writing, because it makes him, he farts while he's writing it and he sniffs it and he's like, yeah, that's good. At the end, they couldn't even follow through on the threat Homelander was warned to be throughout the entire series. No, he wasn't. Stemming from having lost a loving mother and father to protect and raise him, as opposed to... You think he had a loving mother and father?
Who?
What are you talking about?
What the cinema?
Pretty sure from a baby, they basically is small enough that, I mean...
Yeah.
The countless humiliations and tortures that he suffered as a child created Homelander, as we know him. I mean, sure... Like, but I mean, a child that is devoid of a foundational love is a palette for that type of thing anyway.
But the thing is no amount of trauma, right? Like, at any point in his life, he could just decide not to be a dirtbag, right? He chooses to be a dirtbag. His trauma informs why he chooses to be a dirtbag.
Right.
But he chooses. He makes a choice consistently, repeatedly.
The countless humiliations and tortures. I guess him being humiliated at the end is good enough through line to argue this is somehow worth it. Wait a second. How is him being humiliated at the end a through line?
Hey, where is the through line here?
What are you talking about, man? And what worth it to who? Was it worth it to get rid of the evil Superman that was literally had just taken over and just delivered to the country his live address saying, you either worship me or if my psychics basically realize that you don't really love me, we're going to kill you.
We're going to kill you. Yeah.
Was it worth it to stop that? Yeah, I'd say so. Probably so.
I would, unless you think that Homelander's the good guy.
Yeah. And yeah, evil Superman, in quotes, was mostly a bad joke, and they cast in a petty ending for social media instead of finding something. This is where he veers into what he's been learning from Nerdrotic and Gary and
jeez.
Yeah. Right. This is the kind of thing that, like, left on his own devices. I don't know if Mauler would ever have started saying shit like this, maybe, but like now he's been with this crowd long enough, so he's got to throw in the whole, well, they're just doing this for social media and they doesn't actually mean anything. They don't mean anything. They don't believe anything. It's all just for attention and just to spite their enemies and stuff. As if y'all motherfuckers don't do everything that you fucking do to spite your perceived enemies.
Hey, Kettle, why are you calling the pot black? Like, you posted this son. Like, I'm sorry.
Nothing here has layered thematic value for the history the show presented is absolutely false. But I mean, you are not one to talk about layered thematic value because, for one thing, I know you don't fucking think themes matter. You fucking piece of shit.
Oh, that's fun.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't think.
Oh,
themes-
he's one of those guys? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just, no wonder his short thing is the way it is. That
You're
stinks.
just you. There's supposed to be apostrophe R either, man. Like you can't get that.
Oh,
right.
wrong
It goes,
your.
You're just supposed to vicariously enjoy kicking your own personal monster while he's powerless. Enjoy him begging to suck your cock and eat your shit while you can. That's so weird that people keep
No.
focusing in on that as if it's a literal thing. That's what chuds are doing. They're like, oh, that's what their fantasy is or whatever. It's like it's just a fucking phrase. He's saying
It's
it.
a shirt, yeah.
It's to indicate how desperate he is. Not that it's something he's actually going to happen or that there was any. Like, what are you talking about?
He like it's a pathetic moment, right? It's no, guys, no, you're not supposed like if you are someone who sees that moment and you imagine yourself the Billy Butcher in that and you're going, yeah, I want to make my enemies suck my junk. You're
Or
also a bad guy.
Yeah, you're a bad guy.
Yeah, like the message of the show is that like this moment rather is that without his powers, he doesn't know what to do but beg because he has never not had his powers to get his way. So he's bargaining.
This whole post is a fucking masterclass in missing the point. It's like I don't like you, Mauler. I don't like Nerdrotic. I don't like Geeks and Gamers. I even say sometimes on some bad days and I get pissed off, I hate you motherfuckers. I would never want you to suck my penis or eat my poop. I would never want anybody to do the second one. I was about to say either one of those.
Yeah, I was going to say
the first one, but no. I mean, I actually only want people that want to do that. People I like and like me.
And I still won't eat your poop.
Right. Yeah. It's
oh yeah, just bad.
Kinda. So then look, I do agree with the ending part, the last part. Well, at least we have Mandalorian and Grogu, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I'm not gonna see it. I've heard it is aggressively mediocre.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a few episodes of the Mandalorian TV show, and particularly good episodes of the TV show stitched together. But I spent my movie budget seeing Gundam, so yeah, it'll be on Disney Plus
eventually. Yeah.
And it'll probably get shit tons of views on there.
With Thanos, it's like I'll entertain a discussion about what Thanos was right about. It's just that the decision, the way he chose. I mean, this is the thing about a good villain is, and Marvel has plenty of these.
Right.
Magneto is one of them. Thanos, at least in the movie, not so much in the comics.
Not in the comics, no.
The starting point of what motivates them is totally valid. It's what they choose to do in response to that where it becomes a problem.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, man. I guess look, if we're talking about
true.
I don't have to spend money on All in Good Time, and I don't have to sit longer than 18 minutes. Those are positives.
No X-Wings.
Oh, but never mind then. Yeah.
I feel like 20 minutes. I'll sit through 20 minutes for 30 seconds of X-Wing. Yeah, sure. Okay.
On par with Solo is about how I would expect it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expect for it. And I mean, I saw Solo in the midnight showing, but like I said, I went and saw Gundam.
It's weird that the people that aren't triggered by the show and actually see what's going on there don't take it in such a literal way that like they actually. But the people that do are the people that think that you just want your enemies to suck your cock. Huh? It's like, no, do you?
Do you?
You're being weird, man. It's weird.
Stop being. Once again, these people are weird, right? Like,
really weird.
Bro, you wrote an essay about Homelander not getting killed in a way you thought he should get killed, and you don't understand the concepts about which you speak. Bro, I don't know, man. And I don't, what does that say about me? I'm here talking about it like a sucker, but Dane's my friend, so he needs company suffering through whatever the fuck that was.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I think I'm objectively right though about all of it. look, I'll say this. To go in line with the whole subjectivity is the truth of the matter. Like, is it completely wrong to read Homelander some of the ways that he did? I mean, in some ways, yes, because a couple of things he said indicate that he wasn't representing what actually happens in the show.
Yeah.
But I mean, to say that he's just doing it out of vengeance instead of what most media literate people read it as, which is that he's just lashing out and he's fucking desperate or whatever the situation. Like,
right.
It could be possible that it's just vengeance. We don't know exactly what's going on in his head, but it just doesn't seem likely.
Right. Nothing about how he's handled anything else would point to some sort of motive of vengeance, because that involves having a long-term motive, and nothing about Homelander says that he is a guy who thinks his day through.
Dude, send me an email about this or something. I want to hear about this. Give me all the information in an email, please.
Huh.
I got some friends that I can stick on that stuff, or just do it myself. Yeah. Anyways,
yeah, I hope people that are interested in or like Mandalorian go see the Star Wars movie. I'm sure I've heard if you like that show, you will like the movie. I have opinions on the show, and they are not all good.
So with the remaining few minutes here before truly in the stream, how would you guys like to see Turning Point USA exposed as a fucking scam?
I would
10 minutes.
Subscribe to you at patreon.com/actualfandom.
Yeah. Check this out.
12 chapters, and only 7 of them were actually real.
What
the other 5, I found out. The previous field reps' family members had pretended to open up a chapter so that they could claim those chapters on campuses, and then the rest were legitimately fake contacts. Fake contact information bounced back, texts bounced, calls failed. Nobody is actually verifying the student's identity.
Holy cow. Big fraud.
Welcome, Turning Point USA CEO and Chair, Erica Kirk.
Brave time.
The WWE intro.
Turning Point USA says it's building a movement of students, a movement of ideas, a movement that spans thousands of campuses across the United States.
The goal is for these clubs to be in every high school across the state.
In its own filings, the organization claims to operate more than 1,800 campus chapters and to be active on more than 3,000 high school and college campuses.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get some water.
Get some water.
Should start a Turning Point USA chapter.
It says its program reaches millions of students. And behind that movement is money. In a single year, Turning Point USA spent more than $20 million on what it calls its field program, the part of the organization responsible for building and supporting these chapters. Altogether, it raises more than $80 million annually. That money comes from donors who are told they're funding something very specific. A nationwide grassroots network of young people organizing, educating, and reshaping the future of American politics from the ground up.
Turning Point USA meets every other Thursday in room 312. Anybody's invited.
The story is simple. A bottom-up student movement built chapter by chapter, campus by campus.
Put your hand up if you're in high school. Okay.
And it's not just a marketing story. These same claims appear in official tax filings, documents submitted to the federal government, where Turning Point USA describes itself as a nonpartisan educational nonprofit and certifies that it does not engage in political campaign activity.
Point Action and Turning Point USA.
This is the foundation of the organization. It's what justifies the money. It's what sustains the mission. It's what donors believe they are funding.
What they've done is put America right back on the right course.
But what if the numbers don't mean what they actually seem to mean? What if the chapter isn't what you think it is? What if the movement isn't actually there? We started asking a simple question, not about politics, not about ideology, just about reality. Are these chapters even real?
Hi, Elizabeth. This is Jessica, and I'm the president at high school. You had reached out to Maggie, our director of student activities, and she forwarded us your email with some questions about having a Turning Point chapter on our campus. We do not currently host a Turning Point chapter on our campus, although I know it
Oh my
mostly
God.
lists us on their website. But if you want to give us a call back to have
I'll be
further
damned.
conversation, we absolutely can. You can call us.
Yeah.
So then it goes on. You
In
know,
his public
the name of this channel, by the way, is Unfuck America Tour.
Oh, that's a nice idea. I
Um,
like to unfuck America.
So they are the woman that we just showed there. She claims that this is the only organization that is going, like directly against Turning Point USA. As far as like a similar thing, a ground game is what it's called. The organization, I suppose.
Sure.
Ground game, and they're obviously, Turning Point USA has a lot of money behind it, and then
Big oil money.
You start looking at how much money they make with these. By claiming, look, we have all these chapters in all these high schools, and then as she's about to explain, there is a difference between a chapter and a charter, which I think they play a little loosely with that. There's difference legally in what those are and what they consist of. So it's like basically she goes on to show how a chapter that might just be, some of these schools might just be one student there that is signed up with Turning Point USA. But the way they talk about it when they talk about this stuff is as if there's this thriving, body of population of students at all the schools that are whatever, and it definitely creates a false image at the very least, and that's what they fundraise on is they go to conservatives and say, look at all these schools that we have these chapters in, and then they get money given to them for that, which is fraud if you don't actually have those things.
Turning Point USA presents a clear picture of scale, a presence on thousands of campuses, a network of chapters spanning the country. But in its IRS filings, the language becomes much more specific. The organization reports 1,873 charter chapters and activity on more than 3,300 campuses.
There are roughly 3,500 Turning Point chapters at colleges and high schools across the country.
At first glance, those numbers seem to reinforce the same story, but they describe two different things. A charter chapter suggests something defined, a group of students, a structure, some kind of ongoing presence on campus. But active on campus is much less clear.
Club America is now on 3,300 high schools in America.
It could mean a functioning student organization, or it could mean something much looser. A single event, a student who signed up, a chapter that once existed but no longer does. And beyond that, the organization also refers to what it calls activism hubs, a category that's less clear still. The filings don't spell out how these different forms of presence are defined or how they're counted. And without a clear definition, the scale becomes harder to interpret. Because these categories overlap, or if they're applied inconsistently, then the total number may not reflect what people assume it reflects.
Oh, fun.
Before looking at the map, before making any assumptions, we wanted to understand what those numbers actually represent. Not what they suggest, but what they mean in practice. And to understand how these numbers translate in practice, we turned to the organization's own directory. School by school, we began working through the list, reaching out to administrators, student activity offices, and faculty advisors. And we just asked one simple question: whether there was an active Turning Point chapter on their campus. Some schools confirmed that there was, student groups that met, organized, and operated as we would expect. But in other cases, the answers were less clear. Some described the clubs had gone inactive, others said the group had existed at one point but no longer did, and in some cases, administrators told us they had no affiliation with Turning Point USA at all.
School, would you be able to let us know if it was ever a club that existed and maybe dissolved?
It has never, I do know for a fact it has never been a club on campus.
Gotcha.
72 high schools. 7 said they had an active.
Oh boy, less than 10%.
31 said they had no chapter at all. These were on the
A student organization can come and go. Records can be incomplete. And a national organization may define its presence differently than the school does. But taken together, the responses begin to raise a broader question. How consistently is that presence being defined? And how closely do those listings reflect what's actually happening on the ground? Because if a chapter can be defined loosely, then how much does it take to actually create one? Could a chapter exist without a real presence on campus? Without the school even knowing? Could it exist in name only? And if that's the case, can 3 people in their 30s start a chapter at a high school that doesn't exist?
Oh, God.
Wilkes County Training School.
Oh, no.
Former Wilkes County Training School was established in 1956, vacant since 2011. The building suffers from a lack of maintenance and deterioration.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Generate image of 5 high school kids standing around the hallway. Okay, cool. Good job, AI thing.
Oh, God.
Roasted it. We received a starter agreement, so I wanted to reach out and get next steps. Yes, on our end, you're the official Team USA Club America.
Oh my God.
There it is on there.
Ridiculous quotas. Like you expect in 1 month for this one rep to start 40 chapters. So how are these reps supposed to do that? Well, they would give gift cards to the students if they started a chapter, but nothing would ever come of that chapter. So it'd just be one kid called the president and one kid called the vice president and then one kid called the secretary, and they got gift cards. You could have 50 chapters technically, but 3 of them hold events and like 10 people show up. And the others, they were given gift cards or they signed up and nothing ever happened.
Nice.
He was pushing us towards other clubs.
A name, a contact, a record that may or may not reflect what's actually happening on the ground. And when those different realities are counted together, they produce a single number. Ultimately, the question isn't just how many chapters there are, it's what those chapters represent, and whether the numbers being reported reflect a reality in schools across America, or something.
You know, it's like somebody's like, oh man, I've had so much sex. It's like, yeah, but how much of it was good? You know?
For that to be a good analogy, the sex would have had to happen.
True. Like, also, yeah, well, okay, well, some of it wasn't sex. We were just like made out a little bit. You know, she said we're gonna have sex. That's
right,
what,
yeah.
Yeah.
The concept of sex. We had the concept of
She
sex.
said the word sex one time.
Oh, that's hot, I guess. Yeah. Did you notice the downline? That like their recruiters had like quotas they had to meet, and they were giving out gift cards to get kids to recruit more people. Like it's some MLM shit.
I mean, yeah, that's what it is with the goddamn like the influencer groups that they have or whatever on.
Oh yeah,
what sure. Ashley St. Clair was talking about. Speaking of that, here's this.
There were some things that took place with Doge specifically as it pertains to the last election. What did you mean by that? Like, what's going on there? Did Elon play a role in stealing the 2024 election? I'm not a...
So all I know is what he has sent me and what his engineers and employees have told me. But in October of 2024, he sent me texts, which you can look at if you want.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you know, since I said I was going to talk about this last night, and we didn't, and I said we would talk about it once our interview drops or whatever. I did see that Park Rose Permaculture has a video up saying, I haven't watched it, but the premise is pretty clear in the title and stuff, that she thinks this is a distraction. I don't know what her reason for saying that. Like, I don't know if she knows something or has some kind of information about Ashley St. Clair in particular that she thinks that, but I would say that it probably is a distraction in the sense that if you're expecting this to be the thing that saves us or something, then don't do that. That's not. I think
it's one of those things that if it's true, it's interesting for the historical record. But
well, I think it's also good motivation. You know, like if it's if it's true, then it's like, hey, that's all the more reason. Like, not only are they being evil, but they got into position to do evil fraudulently potentially. So
right,
and then they're going to try and do fraud to stay in evil position.
They're going to do lots of or they're just gonna do it, right? Like
So much fraud, so much fucking who cares? Oh, democracy. What does that mean? Democracy, hardly know her, you know?
Right, pretty much. That's the Republican motto these days.
Yeah, this is the fancy suit era.
Want to read the text?
Sure. Why not?
Here. I'm not making this space laser shit up. And everyone's like, oh my god, she sounds so crazy. I'm like, well, this is what he said. Okay, but don't read my pick me stuff.
Okay, it's fairly...
Because I was being picked.
Stuff like this actually makes me think that she's, you know, being truthful, because like she's letting him read the text, but she's also like very clearly embarrassed about the
by it. Yeah.
You know, talking flirtily, I guess, with Elon Musk at some point. Like, yeah, I'd be pretty embarrassed too.
Me. This was October 5th, 2024.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, you tell me.
Wait, why does he actually talks like this?
Yes, he actually talks like this. And I wasn't being hyperbolic when I said
Can I read this one?
Yes, you can read the whole thing.
Okay.
You can read anything.
He says I'm going to introduce an anomaly into the Matrix.
Oh my god.
Except my pick-me-isms.
Okay, I'm feeling more optimistic after tonight, and tomorrow we unleash the anomaly in the Matrix. This is not something on the chessboard, so they will be quite surprised. In air quotes, lasers from space. And you made a joke.
It was a Marjorie Taylor Greene joke.
Yeah.
Is it finally a focus on the Jewish vote?
And he laughed at it, and then I have over 10,000 lasers in space right now.
So he doubles down and says and quantifies his number of space lasers.
I'm reading your pick me text messages back.
But I was like, I don't want to be deposed.
Oh God, you literally sound like
Just
him.
stop.
You
Just
changed
stop.
the way you talk.
I
sound
was
exactly
so pick me.
like
I was
him.
so pick me.
You're using the terminology.
It was so bad. Don't even.
That's crazy.
Don't. I was so pick me. It's like it makes me want to throw up and die.
Simulation.
Stop.
Badass sci-fi drama.
Stop it. But I said I don't want to be deposed. And what does he say? I was like, I would ask more, but I don't want to be deposed.
You should have asked.
Okay,
more.
no. You stop.
Oh, what the fuck? You guys send memes to each other? You're so lame. Oh my God, I can't believe he literally like, this is...
That's enough.
That's the most millennial ass like text message. Aren't you Gen Z?
Yeah.
That's nasty. That was way worse than you trying to talk like him in your text messages. That is like sending like epic memes. Wow. Wow.
I want to die. Oh my God.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
I feel like my heart's beating faster after you read my cringe figure.
That was the most consequential thing.
That was the most consequential thing.
So here's my observation.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, I believe he absolutely sent those tweets, right? I think based on how she reacts to the cringe parts of it, like it makes me think that that's an honest to goodness text. Here's the thing. Elon Musk is a guy who can't play his own video games without lying about it.
Right.
So it's entirely possible, and I would say likely, that he both sent her that text and never did a fucking thing. Because he can't say good morning without lying twice.
Well, so I mean, I wonder, like, what, you know, there's that, and then also, what would that even mean? Like, what would you do with something in space that some satellites or whatever, like a Starlink thing? Like, I don't even know what you could do to manipulate or alter any kind of voting. I mean, if that's possible, we probably should get that, you know, under control. But like, what is it? I wonder if there is anything. Probably isn't anything, but you know.
Well, we know Starlink is super fucking hackable because, like, the Russians and stuff have backdoors into it. The Iranians have backdoors into it. Oh, thank you.
Because of the miniatures.
Yeah. I have shit to do. I'm multitasking. I'm sorry.
You get Hassan's appeal. Well, at least this I yielded some kind of result here tonight. Bob, like, he gets Hassan's appeal now.
Okay, I still don't, but that's fine.
I mean, I honestly don't either. Like, I do, but in a way, it almost kind of bums me out that I do, because if you watch him long enough, he will say something pretty wise and intelligent and very informed, and like he can. You know what I think it is? I think he's just able to. He's got an aura that he's able to present the ideas that we generally all agree with. You know, more or less in a way that isn't. That unless you're like, I guess unless you're fucking like some kind of Islamophobe or something, they're not only not unattractive, they're actually presents them in good ways. So I mean, I think especially to younger people than us, that comes off like really well. So
I think that's why, right? Is like I'm just old. I was born old.
Did he change the MAGA parents? Did they change? That's the one that one guy that does the podcast with his MAGA parents, right?
Wow, wow, holy cow. That is that podcast, yeah.
If you got through to them, that's fucking good.
That's crazy. I think the only way I could get through to them is with an ice pick.
Right. Or a crowbar, butcher style. I'm going to go make some dinner for the boy and me and see if Jen wants to wake up. She was sleeping. She didn't feel good. So.
Well, I hope she feels better.
Are you talking about me? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, my dad's lost. No, he's actually back to the position of, and this is such a fucking cowardly ass thing. The same thing he did after Trump lost the first time, whenever he left office, was he basically just like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Right.
So he didn't want to talk about politics. And now he's that's why I feel like, okay, Trump's not doing well. If somebody like, if my dad is back, before he's even out of office again, just a year and a half or so into, in his term, he's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about politics right now. Like, okay.
The last 9 months or the last 18 months have been like 2 decades long though. So like, I kind of get it. It has been.
Thank you, Harrison. Thanks for being here. And
yeah, thank you for stopping by.
What army are you painting?
Oh, I am painting Space Wolves.
Nice.
For Warhammer 40,000. They are superhuman space Viking super soldiers. 40K is weird.
And the Whale's a really good movie too. That's another one. I don't know if it's one that I wouldn't want to see again ever, but it was definitely is a lot. And
it's a hard watch.
Oh, and the same director as Requiem for a Dream. Imagine that.
Oh wow, I didn't know that actually. We're all learning things tonight.
He's got a style.
I guess so.
All right, folks. You're lovely, and don't have Mauler takes on things is basically what I would say.
Yeah, say no to Mauler takes, just like not even once.
And also don't agree with this.
What's a little genocide between friends?
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, let me
play us out.
So the same old. I'm gonna do what are we gonna do?
I don't know.
You know what? Just in the spirit of scam. Here we go. Don't look too deeply into the eyes, folks.